Good morning, everybody. This is Shelly. My job, my full-time, it's a part-time job, but what I do for money for my job is I resell mostly used clothing. So I go to the Goodwill store, garage sales, other thrift stores. I go to the Goodwill bins, which is where you pay by the pound. That's probably where I get about 95% of the inventory that I sell. And then I put it on different platforms like eBay, Poshmark, Depop, and lately Whatnot. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about Whatnot. I have been reselling clothing and other items online since the year 2000, maybe even 99. I'm not totally positive, but back when eBay was auction only, when you had to take everything, you like hand wrote your labels, you took everything to the post office and they weighed each item and then you paid at the post office for them to ship all that stuff. eBay didn't have shipping labels. There was no PayPal. There was no weekly or daily payments. You had to wait until that person got that item and then you got paid. It was just sometimes people would send money orders because they didn't have PayPal or they didn't know how to pay online. It was the wild, wild west, people. Anyways, going back to Whatnot, I just wanted to let you know I've had a lot of experience reselling. So I have been seeing a lot of people doing little crash outs on Whatnot. I spend time on the app and I also sell on the app. I am by no means a huge seller on the app, but I feel like I'm getting a little bit more successful with every show. I've been doing it since 2022, I believe, off and on. So sometimes I get frustrated and quit for a year and come back to it. I've done that. I think this is probably the fourth time I've done that. So if you've done that also, you're not alone. Like, I think so many of us have tried Whatnot and then got frustrated with it and then walked away from it and then saw other people doing really well and going, I'm going to give that another try. I sell primarily clothing, primarily women's clothing, but also a mix of men's and children's. So what I want to talk about today is just what it kind of takes to have a good show without a huge following. I think I have like 1,800 people, and that's over the last 3 years, okay? So it's not like I just started out. I didn't bring a following over from anywhere. If you do have a following somewhere else, bring them over because those people get successful a lot faster. For us people that aren't huge on social media, who are just, like we've been doing it, we have a ton of experience, but we want to, sell that stuff faster, get it out the door, turn and burn is what I call it. What's his name? There was Chad somebody that used to be on eBay or on YouTube all the time. He was a reseller. Anyways, he used to use that term. If you want to turn and burn, like sell it fast, So anyways, I just wanted to talk about how I set up, how I promote, how I run my show. So the setup, first of all, I set it up with I have the same graphic that I made on Canva. So you can go on Canva for free and just make yourself a graphic. It's a lot of fun. I'm cherry picker, so I put cherries in the background with a rack of like cartoon clothes, and then it says cherry picker thrifted finds or something like that. So you can do whatever you want. I would just say stay consistent. So when people see that graphic and they get to know you and they like your shows, that they're going to go, oh, there she is, and they're going to click on that to see what you're doing. Okay, so setup is make a cool name, or a name for the show. So mine are usually like great brands and styles, $2 to $5 starts, thrifted finds, the best styles, whatever you have. If it's like, if you're doing a Y2K show, put that in your title, and then but still put that same graphic. Or if you have a Y2K graphic, if you're breaking it up like that, just make sure that you're like being really consistent with that graphic. Because I feel like when I see a graphic, when I'm looking at Whatnot, I'm like, oh, that's so-and-so, I'll go check it out. Your shipping, I do priority mail for £5 and under. I click over on the 1 ounce to 3 ounce for whatever. I don't know if that's ever actually been used, but anyways, I do it. And then I use ground shipping for anything over 5 pounds. What I have noticed is how Whatnot breaks up the shipping is everybody that's kind of out of your region. So I'm on the West Coast. I'm in Washington State, like southern Washington, like Portland, Oregon is across the river. I could be in Oregon in like 5 minutes if the traffic was good. Everybody on the West Coast that orders from me gets and goes over 5 pounds gets ground shipping. So I have one lady in in California, and sometimes she'll order like 20 items from me in the same show, and all of the stuff gets thrown into one bundle shipping. A couple times I've had to break that up because even in my big 19 by 24 poly mailers, I have to break it up because there's just too many items. But anyways, that's a whole nother subject of breaking up items. I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm just talking about how I do shipping. I've tried to do the, 5 items in a priority flat rate, and it kind of backfired on me, and luckily I was able to alter some shipments to make it happen, but it got a little crazy, and I know there's ways to do that, and I'm not exactly sure how to do that. So like I said, I'm no expert on Whatnot. I'm not super duper successful, but I just want to pass on my knowledge. So I use 1 to 5 pounds is priority, over 5 pounds is ground. It doesn't seem to go ground unless you are in my region, like on the West Coast. Otherwise, it breaks it up into 5 pound lots. So you could have 5 1 pound items in a box or a bag or whatever. So that's what I have seen personally. So as far as inventory, I see a lot of people that are newer that have really low end brands, and I know that we all can't find the best brands, but I want you to think about what you want to buy. Do you want to buy Free People and Eileen Fisher and Ralph Lauren, or do you want to buy, Wild Fable and, Target brands and Forever 21 or Shein? So you have to think about what you want your audience to be. I see a lot of people that are getting frustrated because they have lower end brands and they're wanting $5 a piece for them, and they don't have any following. If I get a lower end brand, the style has got to be through the roof. It's got to be something super funky, super amazing, super on trend, or I don't get it. I just toss it back in the bins when I'm sourcing. So we've got setup, inventory. Make sure you have good inventory. Also little giveaways. I do good giveaways and I show it. I'm like, hey, I got this little, silver plated baby cup for the giveaway today. Not that I would use that, but if you're interested, join the giveaway. And I always do the follow giveaways. A couple times I've done the buyer's appreciation giveaway at the end, but I usually don't do that. But that's up to you. You can do it. A lot of people do it and it's great. So I already talked about shipping. I want to talk about promoting. So I see a lot of people that are just starting out that are not promoting, or at least it doesn't look like they are, because they have, when I click into their show, they have 2 or 3 people in there. What I do every time I'm going to have a show, the morning before that show, because I usually have it around 3 or 4 in the afternoon Pacific time. My dogs are being crazy. I go to, let me see if I can pull it up on my phone. If I go to a show, so I have a show, I'm probably not going to do it on this date, but I have a show. Here is the show. If you, I wish it would focus on that. Anyways, if you go to the little share icon right here and click on it, I wonder if it's going to do it. It'll bring up all these people across the top. Those are all my people that come to my shows. Those are my most loved people, I guess. I will go through there's probably about 20 or 25 of them, And I go through and do a copy and paste message. So the first person that I message, I'm like, hey, gonna have a pop-up show today. There's gonna be lots of cool stuff. I might, be like, hey, there's gonna be some Eileen Fisher, some Free People, some St. John in the show today. $3 to $5 starts or $2 to $5 starts. Hope to see you there. And then I will copy that when I do the first person, and then I will paste it on each person I share the show with, and I'll do that individually. It literally takes me a few minutes that morning. And then I will also go to all my old buyers, because sometimes that little favorite thing doesn't pick up the buyers that bought in your last show. So I'll go message them and say, hey, I'm having a show today. Here's, and I'll copy and paste that message to them. That helps a lot. And at first I was like, am I being so annoying? Because for a while I was doing 4 shows a week, and I was like, am I being so annoying? And everybody that I asked were like, no, we appreciate the reminder because people get busy. So don't feel like you're bugging people. If you are, they're going to block you, whatever. You don't want them in your show anyways. The other thing that I was going to talk about with running your show is, if you're holding something up, run it. I see so many people that are like, hey, I've got this sweater. Does anybody want this sweater? Tell me what your size is. Do you like this sweater? Here's the sweater. And then they throw it back. Oh, I guess nobody wanted that sweater. No, if you pick up that sweater, run it. Run it in your show. Because there's going to be people in there that are not going to be like, yeah, I want that sweater. Or they're trying to type things out, and by the time they get done typing something out, you've already thrown it back and you're on to the next thing, and they're just like, whatever, and they go on to the next show. If you are holding something up, if someone says, hey, can I see those shoes again? Don't just show them the shoes, run the shoes. Put it in front of the camera, yep, here's the shoes again. Running, run everything that you have. And if you don't have people in your show at first, keep running, because some people will raid you, which means that they are done with their show, so they'll take their 20 or 50 or 200 people that they have in their show, and they will say, hey, let's raid this person because they only have 3 people in their show and we want to help them out. All of a sudden you'll have all these people. They will drop off fast, but a few of them will stay to see what you have. They'll be interested. So that can create new people. So I say run everything. Do not just ask for sizes and keep showing things that you're not running, because you will get people in your show that are just like, I kind of wanted that, but they didn't even run it. And I'm not going to sit here and text them every time I want them to run something. I want them to run stuff. So that is a huge, huge thing. For me, I don't play music because music is very distracting to me. I want to sing to the lyrics, and I can't sing to the lyrics if I'm trying to show you a dress, and I'm probably not that great of a singer, so I don't want you, I might have a lot of people leaving my show for that. Anyways, so I just wanted to get on here and kind of talk a little bit about Whatnot and what it takes to have a good Whatnot show. Like I said, I am no huge seller, but I feel like these little things that I've told you today have really helped. Be yourself. Don't try to be somebody that you're not. Just get on there. If you mess up, say that you mess up. I do it all the time. People say, hey, can I see those black, whatever pants? And then I'm like digging for them. I'm like, oh my God, I can't find these. This is like, I feel like I'm famous for that, because I'm like, I know they're here. I can't find them right now. I have to start pulling one thing at a time out of my bag. Like, oh, here they are. I'm so sorry about that. I might even lose a few followers while I'm taking 2 minutes to find a pair of pants. But that's me. And I can be a little unorganized, and that's okay. Just be yourself. Don't go on there and expect to be like a super professional. People like personality. They like to see you be a human being and to mess up and to be funny and to have fun. And, my dogs will come running into the room and I'll pick them up and have them in the camera. They'll just be looking out the window because they want to see if there's anybody they can bark at. But people are like, oh my God, they're so cute. Just have fun with your show. Have fun. Definitely promote. Definitely find the best brands or best styles that you can. Price appropriately. Do not do $1 starts. You will lose money. You make I think it's 60 or 70 cents an item. like even buying at the bins, I would be losing money if I auction stuff off for $1. I always start $2 to $5 starts. If it's $2, it's usually like something that's not that great, or it's super lightweight, you know, some little tank top or something, or just stuff from the last show that didn't sell. I'll start at $2. You'll be surprised as you get going and get the momentum going. You can start something at $2 and it'll sell for 17. So, and it does take time. You have to be consistent. And I've gotten to the point where I was so consistent, and now I have this following. So when I do a show that's kind of random at this point, I have a lot of people that are like, oh my God, I'm so glad you're back. And they're buying a bunch of stuff from me. So I hope that all helps. Have a great day. Bye.